Little bit about Social Security. Retirement Survivors Disability Insurance was part of Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal during the Depression. It was enacted in 1953. The insurance took to the form of Social Security payments for widows with a family to support, the handicapped, and others in need of money who were not able to support themselves. It was a 3-person Social Security board, and it collected its first taxes on January 1937. In 1939, the Social Security Board merged with the Federal Social Security Agency, which included the U.S. Public Health Service, Civilian Conservation Corps, and other smaller agencies. It issued its first check January 31st, 1940 for $22.54. The company was renamed to Social Security Administration under Harry S. Truman. A tax of 6.2%, which is called the FICA, the Federal Insurance Contribution Act, you pay out of your paycheck, and then your employer pays 6.2% to match it. But if you're self-employed, you pay the full 12%. These revenues are placed into a special trust fund and invested in order to allow them to grow as found in a private insurance, but it's called the Social Security Trust Fund, which was never secured with the dollars invested. It's calculated on a 35-year period. And if you haven't worked 35 years, it will put zeros in place of that in the missing years. As you work the 35 years, the zeros will drop off. To cover a person when they are no longer working and living in old age, which is called old age insurance. That's basically what Social Security is. A lot of people call it entitlement, but you pay into it. But it's mandatory, and the rights to benefits is statutory rather than contractual, and can be changed if the statute is modified. It's not fully funded because it's pay as you go. The workers of today pay for the benefits who have worked in the past. They are funded on an ongoing basis without reference to future liabilities. The problem that is happening is our senior population is growing faster than our working population. In the early years of the program, the payroll taxes produced more money than the government needed to pay in benefits. So by law, the Social Security revenues that exceeded expenditures, the surplus is credited to the Social Security Trust Fund in the form of securities that I talked about in another video. That goes into a general fund of the Treasury and is not separated from other cash in the general fund. That money ends up getting spent by Congress, and Social Security is credited with a special issue of non-marketable U.S. government bonds. Basically, the worthless paper because it's not backed by anything. And bonds are also called securities. In 1953, the program was placed under the Department of Health and Education and Welfare, which later became the Department of Health and Human Services in 1980. In 1984, the benefits became taxable. In 1994, Bill Clinton signed into law, returning the Social Security Administration to the status of an independent agency in the executive branch of the government. In 2011, the payments became electronic. You can no longer get paper checks. It all has to be electronically sent. What is happening? The cash from the payroll deductions is used to pay for whatever expenses or deficits the government has at the time. So in order to pay the IOUs, the paper we have that are worthless, the government has to raise taxes, borrow the needed funds from private markets, reduce and or cut other other federal programs, either reduce Social Security benefits by increasing the retirement age, or link benefits based on people living together, and lower automatic adjustments to benefits based on inflation. Neither situation gets you what you work for. So if the system goes bankrupt, that means they'll have no benefits to pay out. Supplemental security income, which is a needs-based program for the aged, blind, and disabled, they are paid out of the General Revenue Fund. Some states pay additional SSI funds. So remember, the surplus from the Social Security goes into the general fund. Social Security Administration decisions are issued by administrative law judges and senior attorney adjudicators. The Supreme Court has established that no one has any legal right to Social Security benefits, period.